Hi, everyone. This is YMPTV. And as you know, we've been doing a series of podcasts and interviewing executives in the mining sector just to hear their thoughts on COVID-19, the supply and demand of precious metals, and what will happen post COVID-19. But today we're doing it a bit differently with someone, a young professional, having an initiative in the mining sector. So Kwan Fung, who's the founder of Mining2Me. Hi, Kwan.
Hi, Bianca, and hello, everyone.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So before we start talking about COVID-19, the big topic, can you tell us a bit more about Mining2Me, like the initiative, the idea behind the purpose, and which audience are you targeting?
Yeah, for sure. So Mining2Me is a relatively new nonprofit organization. We started last year, but we actually didn't get incorporated until today, June 1st. So today's actually our incorporation date. So
Congratulations.
thank you. So Mining2Me, the aim of our program is to educate and raise awareness on the positive side of mining. So it's usually the stuff that the traditional media doesn't really talk about. And we just want to bring awareness to the public on all the good stuff that the mining industry is doing. So just a little bit background of how it all started. It was around 2 years ago that I saw the Move Mining competition being advertised on LinkedIn. And the idea of the competition is to get ideas to change the public's perception of mining. There's a competition that's hosted by SME, the Society of Mining, Metallurgy, and Exploration down in the US. So I thought this was a neat competition. Personally, I felt like not a lot of people know about what mining is. Going through school, through my mining engineering degree, whenever I talk to my non-mining friends about mining, they always ask me like, is this like when you go out to your work term, do you pick up a pickaxe and just start digging in the ground? And so, I thought like it seems like there's a huge educational and awareness gap between the mining industry and the general public. So I thought it'd be a neat idea to join this competition, and seeing how on my spare time I've always tinkered with social media and movie editing. We submitted our idea of using animated infographic videos to sort of basically inform and educate the public on the good sides of mining. And so long story short, we entered into the competition through, I think, a period of 6 months, 8 months. We competed against other teams. We won, and we got some funding, $5,000 from the competition grant. And we got another $5,000 from Komatsu. So we're now working with Komatsu, and sort of publishing these videos and to market them to the general public. In terms of our audience, we're really targeting the age 18 to 30 group because we've realized that these are the age group that would use social media the most. And what we found out that is when we advertise these videos, it turns out to be true. The large majority of our audience comes from this age 18 to 30 group. We avoided the K to 12 market just because we already recognize that there's a lot of great initiatives out there that are targeting these groups. So for example, in BC, there's the Minerals Ed program. I know in Ontario, there's the Science North. And in Colorado, there's All About Mining. So there's a lots of these programs geared towards the elementary and middle school. And so we decided that we want to focus on an audience that's less tapped into.
And has COVID-19 impacted any of your initiative?
Yeah, I think largely it hasn't, just because mostly we're doing everything online. Recently, we hired a few volunteers, and they're also working online, working from home. If anything, maybe it helped us a little bit more, just because maybe the students that we are hiring, they don't have a work term to go to, or they're not on vacation, so maybe they've got a little bit of extra free time. And so I think that maybe helped us on the hiring side a little bit more, and potentially even getting more views on our videos because people are staying home more.
right? Watching online.
Yeah.
And I guess like it's a bit more of a personal question, but how do you think the pandemic has disrupted, sorry, the global mining? I know you guys did a video on it, so can you tell us a bit more your thoughts?
Yeah, sure. I think, well, what we've already seen is that it's slowing production growth. So especially for areas where mining is considered non-essential, definitely that will take an impact. Less workers being on site. But I also think that it will probably slow the growth of technology innovations because mining companies are starting to run more lean to last through this period of COVID. And so there will be less investment into these new technology innovations. But I think one positive change that potentially could come out of this situation is that companies are forced to innovate, to sort of find methods where they can operate their mines for leaner. And so if they can carry this, throughout this period and even beyond afterwards, potentially they could come out in a better situation. Um, and I think the last impact is the further worsening of the shortage of laborers. So if people are laid off, for example, they may transfer to, other lines of work, and maybe we'll lose workers that way. Um, but yeah, this could be something I will talk about more later on.
And just to go back to your YouTube channel, there's a lot of like short videos and animation on the industry. Can you tell us a bit more about some of the topic you guys present?
Yeah, sure. So we try to focus primarily on three categories. One, the usage of mined commodities. So, for example, all the products that we use, where are they sourced from? Well, a lot of things like cell phones, cars, transportations, um, anything that if it's not grown, it must be mined. So we talked about how mining is used in our everyday lives. The second part we focus on is the technological innovations and as well the safety in the mining industry. So one thing that I found out through talking with friends or maybe even parents is that they think that mining is an archaic sector, and it's also very unsafe. Again, this is sort of the image that the traditional media or maybe even movies sort of tell the public. And so we want to change that. We know there's a lot of great technologies and safety advancements within this field. And the last part is the environmental stewardship aspects of the mining industry. We know that there's a lot of great work that the engineers and scientists are doing in terms of preserving the environment. So even though we do get a lot of bad rep for, say, like tailing down speeches or stuff like that, right? At the same time, there's still lots of great stuff that we're doing, and I sort of want to bring that out to the general public. Just to give some examples of some of these topics in specific, um, we've done videos on artificial intelligence. We're going to do one on blockchain and mining. So talking about using blockchain to help source ethical supplies of minerals, biomining, drones, how mining contributes to UN's sustainable development goals, land reclamations, and using mines to heat your house, underground mines to be specific.
And you mentioned earlier the further worsening shortage of labor earlier. What else do you think could affect the shortage of labor, and what can the industry do about it?
Yeah. So I think one other areas that we'll need to focus on is the shortage of new talent joining the mining industry. Seems that universities, and especially for the mining engineering departments, they're seeing decreased interest in this program. So for example, I know Dalhousie, their mining engineering program, they're actually shutting it down next year. From my university, the University of British Columbia, we've seen the enrollment into the mining engineering decreasing. And it's not just the quantity, but it's also the quality of the students. Um, I've been talking to some of my friends back in university, and they're saying that the students that are enrolled in the mining engineering program, they actually don't have an interest in it, or at least some of them a
Right.
large majority of them don't. And so seeing how, as the industry is going to be needing to supply minerals for our growing population, um, we're really going to need to focus on getting interest in not just mining engineers, but also a variety of other talents. For example, this could be people in geophysics, people in computer science. We're going to need a lot of help getting all these talents interested into the mining industry and supporting the industry. One of the things that we definitely could work on is the poor image and marketing of the industry to the students, university students in particular. So compared to say one of the other disciplines in my university, which is the engineering physics program, over like the last 3 or 4 years, I would say that there's a huge growth in the interest in the engineering physics program. And this is largely due to how they market the program towards these younger students. As for the mining industry and just the mining engineering program in general, I feel like we don't do a lot of marketing and promotion to these students, these first years, for example, and they really don't have a good understanding of what mining is and what mining contributes to society. And I think that if we do these things, if we take these things more seriously, put more effort into these, it could help generate more interest in the mining engineering program and the mining industry as a whole. Um, the other part is what the industry itself can focus on within themselves is basically taking ESG more seriously. So, between all the tailing dams failure, just recently we've seen Rio Tinto mining through Aboriginal site.
Australia. Yes.
Yeah, so I think if we, take these things seriously, we we really have a bad image that we really need to fix. And I think the onus is on us as people within the mining industry is to call these bad behaviors so we can stop them from happening again. Because if we don't, I mean, the image of the mining industry is bad enough already, and we can't really afford to have any more of these incidents.
For sure. And what other pressing issues do you think will affect the mining industry in the future besides COVID and besides the worsening of labor, like the shortage of labor?
Yeah, so there's two main things that I have my eye on. The first one is the declining of ore grades. So this basically speaks to the quality of the minerals that we're digging. So I'll try to like draw a graph with my hand, but the graph of the ore grades over time is going like this. So it's a it's a trend that's sloping downwards. Uh, and so basically what it's saying is the more we mine, the harder it will be to get good ore grades, good quality ore. And so this will basically pose a challenge to us. Either we'll need to find more deposits or we will need to find better deposits by digging deeper into the earth. And so that's the first issue. The second issue comes from society's demand for cleaner production, cleaner mining and mineral production. Um, and so both of these issues will actually require one common solution, or at least one of the solutions will be common to both of them. Um, and that's basically we'll basically need a step change in the technology that's needed to help mine cleaner and leaner. Um, and so innovations such as automation will help us mine for a lower cost. But we'll also need to focus on decarbonizing the industry so that we can achieve low carbon footprint in order to help support climate change goals such as the Paris Agreement. But one thing that I've been thinking a lot about is, will these technology change be enough, and will it come soon enough? Because we know that our population growth is growing. I believe it's the technical term is actually exponentially. We're at 7 billion right now. I think 9 billion It's what UN's predicting by 2050. So with this huge surge in population growth, um, I'm wondering if the step change in technology will be enough or will it be quick enough? And so perhaps the other side of the coin that we have to look at is, do we need to start looking at changing how the general public consumes mining and metals? Um, do we need to start sort of starting this new campaign of advocating for responsible consumption of metals? And this would go back to all the things we learned in elementary school, such as the 3 Rs, reuse, recycle, and reduce. But yeah, these are the sort of the main things that I think we'll need to focus on in the future.
And as of like Mining2Me, what's coming up next?
Yeah, we got quite a few things coming up. So we just finished our incorporation today. The next step will be to register as a charity status. And part of this is to help raise new funds for our additional projects, or either to scale up existing ones. So right now we've have 22 videos in production or slated for production. We've completed just 9 of them right now. So we got basically the other half to go. So that'll continue for the rest of 2020 and Q1 of 2021.
Okay.
So after that's done, we'll probably look into doing a segment on careers within the mining industry. Because again, this is also an area that not a lot of people know about. So we want to make some more videos on, different job opportunities within the mining industry. Basically focusing on people, focusing on the careers, and getting their insights on what that career actually is about. We'll also need to start a website. We actually don't have a website yet right now. We do have a person who's helping us design a website right now, but in the near future, we'll get one. We'll actually build one. We're going to be raising more funds and hopefully collaborating with more educational communities or organizations to help spread awareness and get a word out.
Very good. And I guess like before we slowly wrap up, as a young professionals, what advice would you give to other young professionals that are out there, like our members, and especially during this period of uncertainty?
Yeah, say for those who are working right now, you're probably seeing additional amounts of work. I know I personally have seen my work increase a little bit more, the work that I have to do. So I would say like stay strong within this time period. I think your company and your boss will appreciate you if you're able to last through this tough time period. For those who are looking for work, I would say look for opportunities where you can improve your resume, and this could be taking online courses, or you could be volunteering with community organizations, which could help you develop your soft skills, or even just take the time right now to sort of reach out to professionals within your industry, within your line of work, sort of ask them about career advice, sort of build that network. And I think this could help you in the future, or even just when we get out of the COVID situation, that you have this strong network that you could rely on and
Absolutely.
potentially land you that next job.
And where can people find out more about Mining2Me and connect with you actually?
Yeah, so Mining2Me is our handle for Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We have a LinkedIn page and a LinkedIn person. You could add one of us or follow the page. We do update both of those consistently. Secondly, for connecting with me, the best way is to add me on LinkedIn. My name is Kwan Fung, spelled KWANFUNG, and I'll be glad to help people who are looking to join the mining industry answer any questions that they may have.
Excellent. And we'll share your LinkedIn page on our platform as well, so people can learn
Awesome.
more and also see like the great work you have been doing. Like, congratulations, great initiative.
Thank you.
Hopefully more to come. We'll stay tuned. And thank you again, Kwan, for doing this interview. We really appreciate.
Thank you, Bianca.
Thanks. Stay safe.
Thanks.